One linear ticket can now become a pull request without a developer opening an editor. Copilot reads the issue, creates a temporary development environment, changes the repository, runs the tests, and sends a draft pull request back for review. That does not remove the developer. It moves the handoff. The machine can perform the first implementation pass, but GitHub still requires a human to review and merge what comes back. So we built the review around one controlled bug. A coupon still works at its exact expiry time. Then, while the implementation is moving, the requirement changes. The final diff has to satisfy both rules. We are not presenting a private Copilot run as measured evidence. We are reconstructing the documented workflow around one controlled bug, then reviewing the resulting states exactly as a developer should. Product behavior comes from GitHub. The review exercise is ours. GitHub made the linear integration generally available on July 23rd. Assign an issue to Copilot, select the repository, and a work-in-progress pull request appears in the issue while the agent begins working. The issue is not just a link. GitHub says Copilot receives the title, description, existing comments, and additional instructions. The quality of that ticket becomes part of the quality of the implementation. The work runs in an ephemeral environment powered by GitHub Actions. Copilot can explore the repository, edit files, run tests and linters, commit the result, and push only to the branch created for that task. Progress streams back into the linear activity timeline. The developer can see the work moving without watching a terminal, and the issue receives a notification when the draft pull request is ready for review. The generally available release adds more control. You can choose the model, point the task at a custom agent, set the base and working branches, and store guidance at the issue, team, or workspace level. And while the session is running, a linear comment can steer it. You can mention Copilot with the new instruction. The requirement then joins the active work instead of waiting for a developer to reopen the task later. For our controlled example, the ticket is deliberately small. Checkout accepts a coupon when its expiry timestamp is exactly equal to the current time. The implementation uses greater than when the business rule requires greater than or equal. The ticket gives the agent 4 rules. Expired means at or after the timestamp. Valid coupons must keep working. The fix needs regression tests. And the public interface must not change. The obvious first pass changes one operator and adds boundary tests for before, equal to, and after expiry. That is exactly the kind of narrow, testable maintenance task GitHub recommends for background agents. Then the product requirement moves. Some clients send timestamps without time zone information. Instead of rejecting those values, the service must interpret them as UTC and add a regression test for that case. That comment turns a one-character fix into a small behavior change. The pull request now needs timestamp normalization, preservation of time zone-aware values, and another test. Steering is useful because the change remains attached to the same issue and branch, but a green draft pull request is not the verdict. Tests show that the implementation satisfies the cases somebody thought to encode. Review asks whether those cases represent the requirement completely and whether the change damages anything nearby. First, inspect the boundary itself. The comparison must reject a coupon at the exact expiry instant. Then inspect the new normalization path. A missing time zone should become UTC without rewriting timestamps that already carry an offset. Next, read the tests as a specification. Before expiry should pass. Equal to expiry should fail. After expiry should fail. A timestamp without time zone information should behave as UTC. Anything less leaves part of the requirement unproved. Then check the blast radius. This ticket should not add a dependency, alter the public interface, or touch unrelated checkout behavior. A small ticket deserves a small diff. Extra cleverness is review cost. GitHub keeps that gate explicit. Copilot cannot approve or merge its own pull request. It cannot even mark the draft ready for review. And when required approvals are enabled, the person who started the agent cannot satisfy that approval alone. There is another boundary. By default, the pull request cannot start your normal GitHub Actions workflows until a user with write access approves them. The agent can run tests in its own environment, but your normal automation still follows repository policy. The limits reveal the intended job. One session changes one repository, works on one branch, opens one pull request, and stops after at most 59 minutes. This is a maintenance lane, not an autonomous engineering department. The best candidates are narrow bugs, tests, documentation, and isolated refactors with explicit acceptance criteria. The worst are ambiguous product decisions, cross-repository migrations, and changes where correctness cannot be demonstrated with a clear test and careful review. The important shift is not that an AI can write code. It is that the ticket itself becomes the interface for delegation, steering, status, and review. That makes ticket quality more valuable, not less. GitHub Copilot can now carry a linear issue all the way to a draft pull request. The mechanical handoff got cheaper. Engineering judgment did not. The teams that benefit most will be the ones that write precise tickets and review the output like code still matters. That is the new workflow. The ticket starts the work, the agent returns the change, and the human owns the decision. Build, ship, and scale.